We have 2 episodes that are going to be coming out in a little bit, but for now, let's get started with this one. And that's because I was talking to you about spiritual awakening and how to be successful in life. So that involves those who want to master their emotional plane, self-help, and personal development, support people on that journey. Obviously, I'm attachment trauma informed, which also supports me to notice if we need additional help. And here's why: remembering that empowered men and women, we support each other to learn to self-regulate. So when we have people like lovely Pat Ogden, thank you, traumatized human beings who have had trouble regulating by themselves. Why? Because they didn't get to regulate well the first year of their life, and the second and the third, okay? But they also have trouble seeking others and taking in the support and regulation of others. Why? Because safe haven, secure base reminds the 1-year-old of the danger that their home was. Even though it doesn't mean that their home was dangerous, they didn't learn how to self-regulate. Okay, so I know how to self-regulate when I'm upset. I can have emotions coming up. Now, on that note, this one's for my in between my mystics as well, because we're going to talk about our oversoul, not just relationships between empowered men and women and days. Okay, so I'm polyamory for one. I have twin flames and soulmates, and my oversoul is an amazing oversoul. Always has been, always will be, continues to expand. Spiritual awakening, 5D mystics. We don't lose people and we don't have sagas because we own our brain. We have our higher self. That's why we do. Christ consciousness is called. So Christ consciousness means that you have the capacity to know your left is not the truth and nothing but the truth, and your right is not the truth and nothing but the truth. No, you got thoughts, emotions like any other person. You know how to sit in silence, not because you're a stiff piece of wood. No, because you know the truth. That is neutrality. So you know how to take a look at your inner child parts first and to leave yourself with yourself to express those emotions or to talk about them. So we can talk about heart to heart, yes, with people who know how to want to be in an in-depth relationship with us. That means they want to hear our emotional stuff and our thought stuff. That's it. And that means all of it. And so you're not going to actually tell me to change. You're going to talk to me, hear me, and be there and support me, and we fly together. So love is supporting each other to fly. If I'm down, you bring me up. If you're down, I bring you up. That's it. There's no boxing gloves. That's for the people who stay in the push-pull relationships of dysregulated nervous systems. Okay, so we here at IHP know that emotions are a reflection of that which is within you. And we're going to make sense of the solo self, the relational self, the narrative self, the core self. And you don't have to go alone, but we're getting out of, in fact, those patterns that come from childhood trauma for some people. For others, we don't have a pattern. I'll talk about what's coming up because I know it. And that's where I want to be welcomed by being Maria. For example, the 5D Mystic Enlightenment, functional adult, solo polyamory, sciences, spirituality, everything that I am, that I'm appreciated as I am, and I get to chit chat. And if I'm having a panic attack, you don't be telling me how to change my life. No, you just support me. That's it. That's just an example, okay? So when everyone knows who they are, they don't need to say anyone is anointed, not anointed, okay? We're always being given support, divine support. All people are angels if they get a hold of their inner child. If they don't, then it's unfortunate because they don't get access to their third eye, which means that they don't do introspection and they don't do prefrontal cortex, so they don't get to become enlightened. So these activations are for my lovely 5D mystics. Again, we have had some very important energies about, and that's why with our oversoul, what I can tell you is that you are the person who's going to be able to choose to heal those child parts, because when that comes up, the chit chatter and what comes up, you present it as a conversation. So when you say I do to someone that you are going to build a home with, it's with an open heart and a plan of welcoming everyone as they are. And it's actually really nice when you meet people who welcome you for who you are. And that's where twin flames, soulmates, and your oversoul will always welcome you. And then you get to say, this is who I am. And when you're expanding together, you get to have these lovely expanded conversations. Now, some of the collective are going through this thing called getting to explore your charges. Very straightforward to me. I knew about the highlight positive, and then about the negative. I'm going to bring it both. And that's not in a way of saying that it was hard. And so there are those who think that for all of us, emotions are hard. For some of us, they're not. Okay, so for me, I do prefrontal cortex, and I can notice what comes up. And so from my twin flame 1 to 2 to 3, I knew exactly what I was being presented as a person who is a feminine. And it's not hard to let go of anything because nobody's your property. Okay, so nobody is the one until you meet the one, and then you move beyond the concept of the one. That's why the 4D talks about this saga and drama, but that's because they don't get their 1-year-old and become independent. I have an independent 1-year-old, so the minute that I am not with the person who I think is the one, and they say you're not the one for me at all, it's okay. I have air. I'm breathing. I got water. I'm drinking. I got food, and that's it. And you love more. That's why you expand to polyamory, by the way. And so while some people talk about post-traumatic growth, some will say, no, it's post-emotional growth because it's not traumatic. And that's because when you're using your prefrontal cortex, those emotions, they come up, they last 90 seconds. Your biochemistry is not one that is suffering anything. People who don't have the sixth sense of interoception and the capacity to use their prefrontal cortex, they think that we are liars. The people who have a good relationship with happiness and suffering, it's not suffering again. It's actually called sadness is an emotion about connection. Anger doesn't come up because I don't need to correct you. Fear is always going to be there because I want to live life. And so I want that certainty and I won't have it. Let's see, disgust will come up when I know of people re-traumatizing themselves and then trying to fit me in their little box and to actually make stuff that I don't want part of me. Yeah. And then we have what? Surprise. Surprise, it can be good surprise. Okay, so our 6 basic human emotions, they all come up. This is the other theme. Some people have a very specific emotion besides the charges to release. Okay, so I am here as a person who was already spiritually awoken. Everyone is the moment you're born, basically, and even in the fetus. We don't need a story. Use your human name, please. Okay, so 1 year of life, 2 year of life, 3 year of life. How's your implicit memory? Mine is gooey, ooey, ooey. If yours is not, we want to get you home to that. Number 1, not Elsa's journey. Your oversoul can support you. What's the support? You get to uncharge your emotional plane by not ruminating and not suppressing. It's called, hey, I want to hug, and we talk, and we release, and there's that. That's it. And you do it again. This is why people say, I don't want to do personal development. I want life now. And as long as you do that, that's going to be laundry in your body. Okay, so that being said, the people who want to be in your life, you're not going to be chasing or running after anyone. There's no saga or drama or stepping stones for a twin flame. The ones who are now telling you that you don't end up with your twin flame, they didn't end up with their twin flame and they gave up on their oversoul. It's very clear, in fact. The ones who are making up divine counterparts and then twin flames and all this other stuff, they, again, did not know how to handle basically a breakup or whatever it is that went down, and basically understanding that people are people and talking about it, you know. So the other part that I want to say is the oversoul for 5D Mystic is going to be quite special. And you will not involve people in your stories if they're not part of Mystic community, unless you know they are. So soulmates, my soulmates are part of my community. My twin flames, they are not in any way, shape, or form believers of any of our plane. So they don't need to be involved in stories that to them, they will disrespect, essentially. Past lives are not to be, in my book, disrespected. They're owned. But I can understand the woo-woo-ness, right? Okay, so FYI, your oversoul expands you, but you're the one who says, wow, I got emotions. Let me go expand with the people who get it. So come on over for support on your spiritual awakening. If you need any one-to-one mentorship, we have a masterclass coming up, although that's for specifically personal development, but we can do something to integrate for you aspects with your clairs. And then if there's anything that you want to know more of, ask Maria. It's paid subscription-based model content for now on audio podcasts alone. Once we get to 1K, we'll have it as a membership option on YouTube. Enjoy the energies. They're really amazing for those of us who know how to love from the heart and the mind. And that's because divine feminine, divine masculine, masculine, feminine. And then with our twin flames and soulmates, we continue to expand with our entire Oversoul. We don't lose people, not the 5D collective. We love more people, and that's because, thank you, Christ